Hey, what's going on, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages? My name is Jamoris, and today I'm here to talk about something a little bit interesting and a little bit different. Well, first off, I need to apologize. I have not been uploading any videos in the past couple of weeks, and the reason for that is because I have finals for school, and it's just a really busy time for me right now. And again, I apologize, but I felt that I should give my opinion on something that recently cropped up and that the internet is all up in arms about. Skyrim paid mods. Now, for anyone who's watched my channel since I began YouTube a couple of years ago, they'll know that I have played Skyrim. I had two series on Skyrim. Both of them, unfortunately, are discontinued. The first one was just because I lost interest, and the second one was because I had a bunch of computer problems, and it was very difficult for me to play Skyrim. Hopefully, in the future, I'll get back to playing Skyrim. It's a very fun game. I've been recently watching some other YouTubers that just either resumed or started up their own series of Skyrim, which has kind of gotten me back in the mood of going back and playing that wonderful game. However, what makes Skyrim a little bit different, or at least what would make it different if you watched my Skyrim Let's Play versus someone else's from a couple of years ago, is that I would be using quite a few mods. Skyrim mods have been very prevalent ever since essentially the game came out back in 2011, November 11th, 2011, if I recall correctly. Almost 40 years ago, which is pretty exciting. Now, recently, Valve, the creators of Steam, which is essentially the #1 distribution site of all digital downloadable video games, they released an announcement that they were going to allow Skyrim modders to charge for their Skyrim mods. So essentially, what that means is a person could make a mod, upload it on Steam, and charge people to pay for it. Now, from what I know, Valve and Bethesda is the company who made Skyrim, Bethesda and Valve are taking 75% of the profits from all mods sold on their workshop. So essentially, it's split 25% to the modder, 75% to Valve and Bethesda. How Valve and Bethesda split up that 75%, I don't know. Maybe there's someone out there that does know. I simply don't know. I know that the creator of Valve, Gabe Newman, I think his name is. I might be saying that wrong. Has come out and said a few words, commented on the whole rage debate about it. And so I saw a video about that, and I was like, you know what? I think I need to bring up my opinion. My opinion is I'm actually all for paid Skyrim mods. I actually think it's a great idea. Now, I know that someone out there has just run down to the comment section and started typing away, calling me an idiot and how could you do this? Jamoris, I believed in you. Well, there's a reason. There's a very specific reason. Modding is a lot like designing something that I recently have been designing. I have been designing for a long time, but I recently have been designing full throttle, and which has actually been taking up quite a bit of my time, and that's designing video games. I am a full-fledged 100% video game programmer and designer. I am currently designing 2 video games. Both of them are school projects. One of them may be released this year, hopefully this July, if all goes well. There's a bit of a problem. You see, these things take time, and time is precious. Time is very, very precious. You never get it back. There's no time refund booth that you can go to get back what time you lost. And frankly, it's really, really hard to be motivated to create something unless you really wanted to create it. Now, For me, you might be saying, well, you just said yourself, you're a video game designer. Why do you make video games? You just must do it just for fun. Well, no, that's not true. I make video games, at least recently, I've been making video games, well, A, because it's very fun. I do quite enjoy it, but also because that's what I want to do with my life. My dream is to become a video game designer. I want to make video games. I want to do YouTube as well, but I want to make video games. I want to create them. I want to, make experiences for other people to enjoy. And while I may not ever create something as great and as epic as Skyrim, I make things that are more relatable to the mods for Skyrim. Smaller mods, things that don't take a ton of effort, but still take a lot of time. Maybe not something revolutionary or, something that pioneers a great, industry. But what it does do is it creates an experience. And whether that experience is conscious or subconscious, it creates an experience. It can alter an experience, or it can create one, I should say. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand that to do some of the things that modders do, you have to figure out how to mod, which I've tried modding in the past. It's not easy. And B, in order to really stand out, you got to make something good. And to make something good, you have to put a lot of hours into it. Okay, I'm making a simple iOS game completely from scratch, and it's taken me almost 4 months to make it. All the art, all the programming, all the debugging. I didn't even make the actual sounds. Well, I made a few of the sounds, but I didn't make the music that goes to the game. It's a royalty-free music, and it's still taking me 4 months. Granted, this is a completely original game. I made everything by myself, but that's what modders do as well. Good modders. I'm not talking about, dropping, a bag of coins, in, Helgen, where the player can go and find them, or dropping an ebony sword into Helgen. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about good mods, like Falscar, like Frostfall, like Wet and Cold, like, those bigger mods. Just all of those really big mods that take time and take effort and take far more effort than, any of my original games have, because you need voice actors, you need, you need programmers, you need modelers, you need, texture artists, you need all of these things. And not all the time are they provided by Bethesda in the Skyrim mod files. So a lot of people have to understand that a lot of effort goes into this. And this isn't what people do for a living. People do this in their own free time, and yeah, that's fine, but you also have to realize that it's really, really, really hard to make something and not get any recognition for it. And what I mean by recognition is, if I was a modder, let's just say I was someone that made something like Falscar. I know for a fact that Falscar is a DLC-sized mod, meaning it's about the same as the Dragonborn DLC or the Dawnguard DLC. It literally, and I'm being very honest, it probably took the creators 1,000 hours total. And I'm being very generous on that. 1,000 man-hours to build that mod. Unless they were incredibly good at what they do and they whipped it up much faster than I could ever imagine, which I seriously, seriously doubt. But I'm being very generous, and I would say about 1,000 man-hours. That's a lot. 1,000 hours at a $10 paying job, that is $10,000. Think about what you could do with, what I could do with $10,000 is a lot. I could do a lot with $10,000. So, just think about that. You're asking these people to devote 1,000 hours of their life and no return on it? Maybe some recognition for a few months if they're lucky? To be honest, I know it sounds kind of greedy, but if I was one of those people, I'd be like, I want to get paid. Yeah, you could put it on a resume and say, hey, I made Falscar, the Skyrim DLC sized mod. I know how to do this, 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 and this. But that's not going to guarantee anything. That's not going to do anything for you. If you want to get in the gaming community, which is incredibly competitive, as I've learned, you have to be good at so many things. And you have to be the top of your game if you want to get into anything. You're going to need it. So my point is I'm perfectly fine with certain mods being paid for. Perfectly fine. I'm not really super happy that Valve and Bethesda are taking 75% of it. I think Bethesda and Valve should take like maybe 60% of it. That seems a little bit more reasonable. I know modders would be like, no, I want 100% of it. It's my work. Well, not necessarily true. Valve has to, have the bandwidth to support your mod being hosted. Bethesda was the one that created the tools for you. So yeah, and they created Skyrim, and if they didn't create Skyrim, your mod exactly wouldn't be existing right now. So yeah, I think that Valve and Bethesda should get a cut from it, not as large as 75%, but they should get a cut from it. Again, I think between 50 and 60 sounds about reasonable. Here's something though that I want to kind of put a little asterisk next to where I say paid mods are okay. Paid mods are okay with the one thing is I don't want to pay for mods that add a reskin of a certain weapon or add one sword or one armor set and a sword or anything like that. I think like Falscar, Worm's Tooth, I believe it's Worm's Tooth, very, very large, possibly Frostfall. I would see like Frostfall, like if you like has an optional pay, but like Falscar and Worm's Tooth, I think for sure should be paid. Of course, that's up to the mod authors. I think those kinds of mods should be paid for. Because you know what? Let's look at it this way. You paid Bethesda $20 for Dawn Guard if you got it on day one release, and $20 for Dragonborn. You were more than happy to pay Bethesda for those things. You were more than happy to pay Bethesda $50 for Skyrim. Because if I recall correctly, day one launch price was $50. So you paid $90 to Bethesda for this game. Why were you okay with that? Is it because they're a company? Is it because they made the game? You're saying that modders shouldn't charge for it because they've always been free. That's honestly a very weak argument. They've always been free because Bethesda doesn't want you. They made it explicit in their EULA that they couldn't charge for mods. I'm almost 100% certain that if people could, on day one, charge for mods, they would have been. I'm almost positive for it. And the reason why is because it's much, much more of an incentive. Even if I only get a couple dollars for every download. If I make a really good mod, let's just say I get 1,000 downloads and I get $2 for those downloads. That's $2,000. I can do a lot with $2,000. I can. Not many people can do a lot, but I certainly can. I'm a college kid. I'm a person that's in college. $2,000 sounds really nice right about now. You guys are, and I'm seeing the internet going, oh no, modders are being, are going to scam us out. Nobody's making you pay for these. Is there a person sitting behind you with a Hannibal Lecter mask, having a knife up to your throat and saying, pay for this mod? Of course not. Nobody put a knife to your throat and said, pay for Skyrim. No one put a knife to your throat and said pay for the Dawnguard DLC or the Dragonborn DLC. No one's making you pay for anything. They're not. I honestly, people getting in an uproar about paying mods, then by all rights, you should be getting in an uproar about every single piece of DLC out there. Go ahead. Go to knock on a game designer's door and say, I do not want you charging for DLC for your game. Go ahead. Tell me how that goes. I can guarantee you that person will laugh at your face. I would laugh at your face. And I've never released a commercial product before in my life, and I would laugh at your face. Because these things take time. And again, that is the main essence. People have to eat. People have to drink. People have to keep the lights on. People have to, put clothes on their body. You can't honestly believe that people just do this for free and there's no consequence to it. Time is everything. Again, like I said, the people that made Falscar, they probably, in total, each person probably put in anywhere on an average of around 100 hours apiece. I said on average. I know some did more than most, but on average, they probably put 100 hours apiece. Or around, let's actually be a little bit more generous and say 60 hours apiece. Okay, again, with a $10 an hour paying job, that's about minimum wage. That's about what you would get if you lived in the area that I live in. An average job, which is the jobs that I've gotten as of recently, all pay $10 an hour, and most jobs do now, $10 an hour. And that's working at a warehouse. That's not even like a fancy 4-year degree job. That's just a regular job that you can get for 60 hours. That's $600. And then, of course, depending on the state that you live in, minus, I'll say, $75 on average in tax, that's $525. You know what I could do with $525? I could pay for the next year of food for myself. 1 year of free food for myself. Because I'm currently living alone. I'm not living with anyone else. I'm living in a dorm. And I spend about $35 a month, $40 a month on food. 1 year of free food. You want to know how awesome that would be? That's incredible. $525 for food a year. And all I had to do was just throw some polygons together and release it as a mod. That's incredible. Now, am I guaranteed to get $525 from this mod? Absolutely not. I'm going to put high quality work into it because I want people to download this. To me, it makes more sense because it's like, people are smart. People are smart to say, you know what? I'm not going to release a mod and that sucks. People are going to pay for it, and which Valve has explicitly said, if it doesn't work or if you don't like it, within 24 hours, you can refund full price. You get Steam credit for it, but you know what? If you use Steam a lot, this is how I look at it. Buy the mod. If you don't like it, get Steam credit and use that credit towards a brand new game. It's that simple. I can guarantee you, if I bought $50 worth of Skyrim mods and I returned all $50 because none of them I liked, I would be ecstatically happy. Because then in the next couple of months, when a brand new game comes out and I'm super excited for it, I go in and I only pay half. Oh wait, I said $50? Sorry, I only paid $10 of what I have in my account. I get a $50 discount. That's amazing. And because I'm a PC gamer, which if you're on Steam, you're probably going to be a PC gamer. You're going to be, even if you play games like Call of Duty is on Steam. Put it towards your next Call of Duty purchase. Even if you only get 2 or 3 games a year, that's still credit towards those games. You're not losing any money. In fact, I would arguably say you're gaining money. And here's why. You see a game that releases, you're like, that's a really nice game. And then you look up at your Steam credit, you see let's say $25. Like, I could go and I could pay $25 for this, or I could wait 5 months, wait for it to go on a Steam sale, and pay nothing for it. Because honestly, at the time of this recording, Shadow of Mordor right now is $25. And I really want that game. I can't run it on my PC, but I really want that game. So going back to the whole Skyrim mod thing, paid mods, I say go for it. But if you're going to buy a mod, just like if you're going to buy anything else, do some research. Take a look at the reviews. What are you looking at? Of course. Look at them. If you're like, oh, I don't want to pay for mods, then don't pay for them. No one is forcing you. It's stupid and immature to say to anyone, oh, Bethesda and modders and Valve are so greedy. They just want to suck money out of us. No, they don't. If you're willing to pay for it, pay for it. If you have the money, pay for it. If you don't want to pay for it, don't pay for it. Let me ask you something. If you walked into the grocery store and you saw that milk, one brand of milk was $1 more than the last time you came, would you buy that brand of milk? No. You would move down a few spaces and you'd get the cheaper milk, wouldn't you? So why aren't you writing to that milk company and saying, how dare you increase your milk product by $1? Why aren't you doing that? Think about that for a second. You don't get in an outrage about that. You didn't get in an outrage about paid DLC. You don't get in an outrage about EA dropping the next microtransactions. You don't get in an outrage about, Clash of Clans microtransactions. Think of them as microtransactions. But we paid $60 for the game. Oh, really? Okay, great. Then don't buy any mods. Don't buy any mods. It's as simple as that. I personally am not going to buy any mods. I think it's a good idea for those who want to pay for it and who are all for it. Go hog wild. But as far as I go, I'm not paying for any because I don't want to. So I just took a drink. So think about it this way. Think about it like any other product that you buy. If you don't want it, don't pay for it. If you want it, pay for it. That's all there is to it. It's another product. It's another way to support people that you might want to support. And if you don't want to support, then don't support. It all boils down to that. Anyway, guys, again, I apologize for not uploading any videos. I probably just lost a few subscribers from somebody. And I probably am going to be getting Skype messages here in a little bit about people raving at me. But I'm giving my opinion, and that's that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully soon. I get done with finals around May 9th. So hopefully I will start uploading a lot more videos starting that next week. Anyway, I hope to see you guys soon, and thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.